Happy Tuesday. I just got done with my workout. It's an early morning. Let me put out this video breaking down the reason they won, how they won, the series where we just break down what just happened on a recent sporting event. And we're talking about the Indiana Hoosiers becoming national college football champions. Congratulations to them, defeating the Miami Hurricanes. It's a crazy game. I mean, was back and forth, defensive in the first half, offensive explosion in the second half. Mendoza brought it home for the team with that gutsy touchdown run. Carson Beck with that unfortunate interception. Let's talk about the strategies that made him win. We got three things to break down. Let's go. Honorable mention point. I think this goes outside of the main top three, but it's toughness. I got to say, that shot that Fernando Mendoza took by number 8 on Miami in that first opening drive. I mean, you see the blood on his chin strap coming out of his mouth because he got popped straight on the chin. I mean, brutal stuff. Miami was trying to show Indiana that they were willing to play just as tough and as strong. And it was kind of an answer to their controlled and disciplined football. And Miami wanted to bring a little bit of that, Miami energy that, hey, we're here to disrupt. We're here to be the gate crashers, the party crashers on your perfect season. Let's ESPN this thing and keep it going quick, fast, and in a hurry. If you look at strategy number 1 that won them the game, it was about control, the anaconda approach, strangle your opponent, and it's all about time of possession. Coming into this game, Miami was number 5 in the nation in time of possession. They averaged at least 30 minutes plus with the ball. This game, they only had it for 23 minutes and 36 seconds. Looking at it, it felt like this game went by fast. To me, I don't know about you all. Would love to hear what you know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching Perspective Reports, your world strategized. But anyway, Carson Beck did not have any time. He was on the bench, and you could just see it in his expression. He had to, every time that Miami was on the field, they knew how to take advantage of it because Indiana, with their 36 minutes and 24 seconds on the ball, look at their drives. They had multiple drives that lasted for 6 minutes, multiple drives that lasted for 5 minutes, right? Their first field goal drive, 12 plays, 55 yards, 6 minutes. Their second quarter touchdown score with Riley Nowakowski, 14 plays, 85 yards, 6 minutes and 44 seconds, right? So for Miami, their longest drive was only 5 minutes, and that was 10 plays, 81 yards. They just did not have enough time, and that was Indiana's game plan going into it. You saw them do this against Oregon, Alabama, against Ohio State, right? Teams with explosive players and explosive offenses. How do you keep them out of the game? You keep them on the bench, and Cignetti understood that, and they came into it. So great job with them and the defensive coordinators. And also really was volume versus efficiency. Miami outgained the Indiana offense, which is pretty surprising. You looked at it too. Tooney was a baller at the end. The Miami offense was rolling when they could get a chance. They came to play because they said, hey, this is our hometown. We have the explosives. If you're in the state of speed, they're going to show it off. They wanted to make it a track meet, but you came against a coach who knows how to literally X and O that out. And that's what we saw. So again, strategy number 1, control, and taking those speed players out of the equation is what led to that Indiana victory, number 1. So now point number 2, it was, the Miami defense, and it was going to come down to them. I don't care what anybody said. The Miami defense would win or lose this game, and the reason why, we know Indiana's philosophy on defense has been don't break. They'll give you between the 20s. They don't give up scores in the red zone, and we saw that, right? But Miami's defense goal was to keep the game close. They did that, so good job to Miami, keeping the game close. I mean, 27-21, a lot of that game, Miami was playing lights out against one of the most efficient offense in the country. And the biggest thing that they failed at doing was making Fernando Mendoza turn over the ball. They needed a turnover. The Miami defense had to come up with a play. That's the only way to beat Indiana or to get them on the ropes is to make them make a mistake, because Curt Cignetti and that Fernando Mendoza-led team is all about efficiency and no turnovers. And when we saw that, he didn't get a turnover. Fernando Mendoza, no turnover. Whoever made the first mistake, the first turnover, that would be the death knell for them. And we saw that at the end of the game. It's really all about getting pressure, and that front seven did it on multiple occasions, stopping the run, stuffing it, but it was about the passing game. We see Becker coming up with incredible plays. Nowakowski, the tight end, really, and also running back at times, coming in, doing what he has to do. It was really incredible to see the different ways and looks that Indiana came about trying to confuse the Miami defense. And again, you look at the coverage, 28 was, sorry, I meant 29, OJ Frederic Jr. Really pressing. He had that almost interception in the end zone. There was a lot of opportunities for Miami to come up with a takeaway, a strip sack, an interception, a knockdown, a fumble. But again, Indiana just stayed so disciplined. They didn't bend, they didn't break, And again, the Miami defense, credit to them because they have a lot of future NFL talent. That front seven was insanity. But again, you just have to come up with some sort of defensive turnover. That's what that game was calling for a Miami victory, and it just didn't happen. Of course, the last key strategy for how they won, it's the discipline delta. I keep coming back to this, but this whole season was Curt Cignetti trying to show that if you run a tight ship, which we already know college football, it's all about control. Whatever the coach said, he is the Lord and master of the house. But I think it's bigger than that. Curt Cignetti was saying to all these, especially experienced players, you look at their roster, you look at a guy like Mikhail Kamara from JMU, who followed him down to Indiana and Bloomington, right? Coming up with great plays, that punt block. But again, it was all about staying disciplined, and Miami just wasn't. You look at penalties, right? That's the perfect example. There were 7 penalties for 60 yards on Miami versus 5 for 38 for Indiana. And that really isn't that much, and especially for Miami in their history, we know that discipline can be a problem for them. But the fact that they did still play, I think they stepped it up, and I think Mario Cristobal did everything he could to make his team as disciplined as possible. But every error stacked up. 60 yards, that means everything, right? And turning it over, especially in the game-winning drive, well, that's obviously going to kill your dreams and your hopes. So no matter what, it's truly about operational excellence. That's what Indiana did. They didn't beat you with anything flashy. If you look at that game, there wasn't really anything flashy from Indiana, except for that interception, which was so baller by 22 at the end. But it was truly about being efficient and just being methodical with the time, scraping as much of it off the clock, giving the offense on the other side no time, containing the explosiveness when they could, even though Miami still found a way to put up 21 points. But regardless, I gotta say, that operational excellence was incredible. But shout out to Miami. Again, think about the scorers lines for Oregon versus Indiana, Alabama versus Indiana, Ohio State versus Indiana. So 21 points, keeping it a 6-point game against the national champions, going 16-0. The first team to go 16-0 since what? The last team to go 16-0 was actually the Yale Bulldogs, 1894 Yale Bulldogs. Also, the last men's college basketball team to go perfect was Bobby Knight-led Indiana Hoosiers back in 1976. So, wow. So hats off to them, and congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers, 2026 college football playoff national champions. And this is our series, How They Won, breaking down Indiana versus Miami. We're going to do more of this series. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. It's pretty quick, rough, don't have time much to edit, but it's just fun to do. Thank you all so much. And again, let's get to the outro. College football is really about one key asset, and that is control. We see coaches like Indiana's Curt Cignetti wield it like a weapon, suffocating opponents left and right with a boring discipline that won them a championship and got them a Cinderella story. And good for them. I'm a guy from Illinois, and I can appreciate that. But you look at a Curt Cignetti, he is all about the X's and O's. You hear it in his interviews. You hear how he talks. He's all about the game. And it makes me wonder, with so many stories about loss of control on the sideline, a brawl, a blown coverage, or potentially your coach getting arrested, how many copycatters and imitators will try to promise the same thing Curt Cignetti did to a player, like a Mikhail Kamara, who comes in from a JMU fifth-year senior and gets his degree in liberal studies. He was promised a Cinderella story if he would put in the work and the discipline and the time. How many players will be promised that same thing and actually have that come true? I guess we'll have to find out. Either way, this is Perspective Reports, your world strategized. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day wherever you are. But before I go, let me hit you with a bonus track. There's a lot of things happening and changing in this world, from the political all the way to the sports, and we're going to try to cover and break it down as much as possible, especially when it comes to college football and college athletics. There's a new lawsuits on the horizon. Are college football players and college athletes employees now that schools have to set aside $20 to $22 million a year to pay these athletes? And we're going to talk about that. Also, how there hasn't been a new college football national championship since 1996, and the boys club of college football. Let's lean into that a little bit more. Got some more NFL content as that season wraps up. We're also going to go outside of that, going to have some music content. But this week specifically is the business of 2025, because how can we look into 2026 if we don't know what just happened? I know that it's a little bit late in the year to be doing that, but I figure why not? I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so look out for that. I've already got a slate of content already recorded, just editing and posting. Thank you all so much for supporting. We have our website, perspectivereports.com. So if you haven't seen this channel, welcome to the party. You're just on time. Let's go. Have a great day. And remember, strategy matters, and so do you. Later.
Watching Perspective Reports, your world strategized with a little fun.